we're gonna have to go back up and go through actually the second elevator. This is my favorite view of all time. Just kidding. So there's still a gap, so it's a little bit scary.
In New York City, 27% of stations are accessible to people with disabilities. With Lauren Brooks, a 20-year-old student who just moved here, we went to see what it's actually like to navigate the subway system in New York City in a wheelchair.
Disability is only seen as an inherently bad thing or a weak thing because the world isn't meant for us. Normally, before I start out each day, I always search the MTA app to see if my elevators are out of service, just to kind of see like what's the quickest stop, because only 27% of stations are accessible. I have like 3 backup stations and like 3 backup routes. So like if one's broken, okay, shift. So this is the Fulton Center. This is my second backup station, but the Fulton Center is nice because there's actually 2 elevators in the platform. Isn't it beautiful? Isn't she lovely? This is my favorite view of all time. Just kidding. However, there is another elevator, but it's in the mall. So let's go to the mall. I have an unlimited card for that reason. There are a lot of times where I do pay for a ticket for nothing, and it would be kind of horrible if like I bought like ride by ride. I would be spending so much money. Normally I would be really frustrated. I still am, but there is a second elevator at the station, so it may be like a detour. It might take me a little bit longer, but at least there's an option. Here we go. All right, attempt number 2 to go to the elevator. It's not in service. I'm gonna have to ask somebody to open up the door on the other side, because how am I supposed to pay when that's broken? Excuse me? Could you do me a big favor? The fare thing is broken right there. Do you mind opening the door? Thank you, appreciate it. A lot of my friends have said that they don't really think about a lot of this stuff until they're hanging out with me or they hear me. And like, I don't blame them. Like, if you don't know anybody in a wheelchair, or if you've never really thought about it, like even in your city, just like think for like 5 seconds, just like, how would a person in a wheelchair be navigating this? Like things that you wouldn't think twice about. Like maybe there's like a step in front of like your apartment building or a step in front of your office building. What would a person in a wheelchair do? This station is very strange because on this side, part of the platform is actually raised for the conductor car, which makes it super easy to get in and out. And this side actually does not have it. So especially with like older cars, I have to usually wait for the next one because it's just too high. People are usually nice, and like if I get stuck, just in general, like I don't want to need to depend on random strangers. So there's still a gap, so it's a little bit scary. I'm still probably gonna back up. Make sure I got everything. Yeah, okay. I got lucky this time, but I still had to back up, so.
Do you ever feel like you're short on time?
Yes.
Or, yeah.
And it gets scary, because like, I got lucky this time, and that the new train was here. But if it is an older train, I usually do have to wait for the next one, because the gap is like this big. Like, I'm not trying that.
In June 2022, the MTA settled a lawsuit and agreed to make 95% of its stations accessible by 2055.
2055 is a little bit of a ways away. I'm only going to be here for a few months. Inaccessibility is a problem in New York that permeates almost every aspect I've noticed. I'm used to it, like this is nothing new. I'm from LA area. It's not much better over there. I've definitely experienced a lot of inaccessibility with public transit. Sidewalks are a mess. Streets in general are a mess as well in terms of potholes. It's very interesting living in a city that I've always wanted to live in, but basically kind of getting like a subliminal message that I don't belong here. And for things that New Yorkers take for granted. It would help me be a more normal, I guess, early 20-year-old, you know? Be spontaneous. I don't have to like edge out like all this time, you know, or like budget for Ubers on the side. But it would just make things a lot easier.